Hello, dividend executives. Welcome back. The stock market is open, so you already know we are buying stocks. We're adding assets to the portfolio, but we're doing it a little bit differently this week. And what I mean by that is we are doing some consolidation in the account. I've gotten to the point in this account where I think there's just too many positions. We have a lot of overlap. We've tried some new funds. We've got rid of some funds, but I really want to consolidate into some of my bigger dividend high yield plays. You've been seeing some more high yield plays as of late. We've dipped into some margin. We're trying to get this account to $1,000 a month in pure passive dividend income. And there's some stocks or ETFs that are on the chopping block and they need to go. So what are we going to do? Well, we're going to consolidate. We're going to bring up our weekly income and we're going to bring up our monthly income by getting rid of some of these stocks. And so these are ones that I have a lot of money in. They're only making me a couple of bucks every single month. And they're not really moving in terms of share appreciation either. And some of them have rebounded and some of them I'm down on. But that being said, some dividends have come out and it is time to cut some positions. So first things first, as always, we like to just double check. We like to look at all the income that's come in for August. As you can see, we have a lot of income. We're over $600 in dividend income for the month of August. We still have some on deck. And we're going to be moving some funds around, right? So we started off August with QQQY at 25.48, IWMY at 31, QDTE, which is a new fund we added on margin, about 25.50, I think is the cash we put into it so far, and it pays weekly. So the first week on QDTE was 32.54. On XDTE, $16.81, JEPI, $6.56, JEPQ, $12.61, BITO, oh my gosh, 146, CONY 6771, TSLY 3872, MSTY, which is a new position for us, 68, NVDY 84, Amazon or AMZY 934, OARK 1167, SQY 1064, and you get it, right? AGNC at 899, XDTE, which was our second payment last week, or came in on Friday at $20.16, which is actually not too bad. We got paid 41 cents a share, which is really good. We have 48 shares there. And then QDT, again, our second payment on that of $30.04. So not too bad. These are some ones in the pipeline: PSEC, STAG, O, and MAIN. And let's jump into what we're doing. And one of these is actually on the block. A couple of these are on the block, but one of them is going to be O. I really like O as a long-term hold, but this one, it's just really not in line with what the account's been doing. This one's been down a lot and has recently come back. We are up 2.77% of the position, and this is why I want to cut it. If we go down and we take a look at, and this is a good long-term hold in my opinion, but for this account, I just want to be a little bit more aggressive. When we go to the dividends, you can see this one's making us on drip, we started really low. Obviously we got into the twos, now we're into the threes. So it's making us $3 a month. There's been no share appreciation. Obviously the market, this could pull up. It could pull down, but for me, I made 20, 30 bucks on this position and I've held almost $1,000 of the account. So I'm going to get rid of this one and I want to diversify the funds, but we're going to go in and we're going to sell this. Again, I am consolidating this account. I want to get the account down to, 10 to 15 positions. And I think this is going to be part of it. So I'll get a calculator going here on the background and we'll just start tallying up what we do. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to sell our entire O position. Again, I still think this is a good position long-term, but for me, for this portfolio, for right now, this is one I just want to get rid of. So 850.75, we'll throw that on the calculator here. And we're going to just start increasing the cash position, right? So right now, we're at $9,233 with the margin. Last week, we were at $10,600 or so. Obviously, we had a couple $100 worth of dividends come in. And that's going to affect it. But at the end of the day, I want to be right around that $10,000 mark. We have $4,900 worth of buying power. We have some puts out there as well, but those are dated for 8/30, so they'll just be sitting. And we're at $21,280 in the account. So O is the first one on the chopping block. The next one on the chopping block is going to be another small dividend payer. Not a huge position in the account. It's going to be PSEC. We're down $95 or so on this. Obviously, we've been getting dividend income on this one as well. We can double check that if we want to just look at the dividends on this one. Same thing. This one makes us $2-3 a month. And it's just time to go. So PSEC we're going to be getting rid of. We'll take the L on that one. And we're going to be selling all. And so that's going to credit us, what was that, 238? Yeah, so we'll just say 284. So we just sold $1,134-ish worth of assets. And we're going to keep going. We just received all our dividends on a bunch of these Yield Max funds. And so it is time to get rid of them. SQY, I do think this one's going to be fine. It's got a lot riding on the Bitcoin. We're only 0.9% of the portfolio. Again, just another consolidation here. We're down 21% on this, not including all the dividends. So we're down $84 there. If we actually went to the dividends and we look, you know, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, I mean, we're probably break even on this one. Obviously, this 1888 one was huge. $16 was huge. So we're probably pretty close to break even overall on SQY. But yeah, I just want to consolidate ones that I don't love. And this is one of the ones I haven't loved owning. And so I'd rather put that money to work somewhere else. So we'll add the $299 to the total, and that brings us to $1,433 worth of assets sold so far. And another position gone. So O gone, PSEC gone, SQY gone. Another one, even though I do believe in AMZY. Same thing, just want to consolidate. $373 on this one, 1.2% of the portfolio, so a very small percent of the portfolio. We're down $32 on the actual position. You can see right here, just in dividends, we've made far more than $30 on this position. So we're going to be selling this one. I don't hate the fund. Again, just going to consolidate. So that is going to add to our total another 372, bringing us to 1805 so far in positions. Next one on the block is going to be OARK. We're down 242 of this one. We actually probably are going to take a nice $100 to $150 overall hit on this one. If we go to the dividends, there's obviously some dividends. This one's paid, you know, between $10 and $20 a month. So we probably have a good $100 or so there, but we are going to be taking an L on this one, and that's okay. So we're going to be selling this for $430-ish. So $432, bringing us to $22.37 worth of stocks sold today. And that is OARK. So that one's gone. And then the last one we're going to do for today, and there might be more down the road, but for the consolidation today, another one we're going to get rid of. It's a good, this is a Vanguard high dividend yield ETF. It's a good hold. It's just such a small position in the portfolio, 1.7%. We're up 7.2%. Obviously, we've gotten some dividends on this as well, but they're really, really small dividends. We're talking $4, and it comes once a quarter. So one I just don't love, and I think it's a good long-term hold. But for this particular portfolio and what we are trying to achieve in this portfolio, I just think this is one I want to get rid of. So we're going to add the 517 there, and we just sold $27-ish $100 worth of assets. And so we just consolidate a little bit, right? Some other consolidations I've been looking at are going to be along the Stag and the Main, a couple other positions like that. But for me, those are the ones I wanted to get rid of. Let's look at today's price. Can I see? Yeah, let me see the last price just so I can get a look at the asset tickers. So one I want to add to, and this is kind of in line with that, is going to be yield YMAX. This gives me exposure to still that dividend, but you can see the top 10 holdings. We have Meta, PayPal, Zom, Netflix, JPM, Apple, Microsoft, Snow, and Amazon. The reason why I want to go take some of that money out and put it into this is Amazon we just sold out of, or AMZY we just sold out of, so we'll get a little bit of exposure to that. It gives us some new exposure to other assets like Microsoft and Snow, and Apple, which we sold out of earlier, Zom, which we sold out of earlier, and it gives us some exposure into that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here and I'm going to do $500 into this. So we'll do $500 into this. We'll add to this position. Will give us 27 shares. It'll increase that later in the month dividend income. So 27 shares there. And that leaves us with 2,200 or so left. So YMAX position is increased significantly. The next one I'm going to be increasing is going to be BITO. Been loving this one. Average cost of 22 on this. And I wanted to get this one to, We're going to do 500 here as well. I wanted to get this one to 300 shares. So we're going to be adding $500 here, which brings us down to 1,700-ish so that we could continue investing. That brings the cost down. Yeah, so we're at 276 shares. We're closer to that 300 mark. Eventually, we'll probably turn drip back on this one. But 22.10 is the average cost on this one. And this one should pay us around $400-ish next month. As you saw, BITO paid out. What did we pay out on this last one? $1.45 per share. So we have some good income coming on BITO. The next one I want to be adding to is going to be, we have 1,700 left. Next one is going to be XDTE and QDTE. These are some new ones. I want to get these towards, let me do 500. I want to do these ones towards probably that 85 to 100 share mark. We do have drip turned on these, drip turned off on everything else, but we're going to add 12 shares here. And that's going to be another 500 off the total. So we're down to about 1,200 left that we have to spend to make all things equal. Next one is going to be XDT, of course, 500 here as well. I'm trying to keep these ones very similar. I did 2,500 initial, another $50 last week, and then 500 today. So we're at 3,050 cash in on both of these ones. This brings us up to 59 shares there, 10% of the portfolio. And that was kind of the goal, right? So we have 10% of the portfolio here, 10% of the portfolio on QDT and XDE each. That's 20% of the portfolio. And then these ones I think are sitting around 10% as well. Oh no, 5%. So 10% between JEP-B and JEP-Q. Those ones are pretty good, stable ones. But we have just consolidated the account quite a bit. Let me pull that off. So we got 750 left. Let me just look what that puts our margin at. 9,300. Yeah, so about 750 left. And that would put us around the $10,000 mark in margin, which is kind of where I want to be. SCHD is a little bit high at the $80. I would like to add some more there. This one is sitting at 15% of the portfolio. But the next one we're going to be adding to, and this is one I've been wanting to add to, the dividends aren't phenomenal on this, but I do like the hold overall long term. And we're at 3% of the portfolio, up 7.85%. We're going to do 250 into this. And that is DIVO, 6.4 shares there. It adds to the end of the month dividends. And I think this is a good long-term hold. They've got some great assets in here. And you can see the top 10 holdings right here. Really, really big household names, obviously. And I like the exposure, the different exposure that Devo gives us in that ETF. So that's 250 into Devo. And then the last one I wanted to add to is going to be down here at the IWMY. I think, what are we down? 23%. So this would be a nice average down on this one. I do think that IWM will do well in the next year. And this is part of the reason why I want to add to this one. I think the premiums are going to be elevated, especially if they start dropping some rates. And some of those smaller cap companies have a little bit better leverage when we go into the lower interest rate environment. 6.4 shares added there. That brings that up to 2.2% of the portfolio. So we added some exposure there. And this one does pay pretty well. So if we go down to, we just had a reverse split obviously there. Oh, maybe it's not going to show the history here. But yeah, this one's paid some, I think it paid us what, $30 or so. So it's been pretty well. So that's the changes we did for today. We're right at that $9,800 or so worth of margin interest. I do want to jump into the spreadsheet, just show you where we're sitting here for the month. The month of August, just a quick recap on that. We're at $630-ish worth of dividend income so far. Obviously, QDT and XDT have been some front runners there, and then all of our yield max funds came in as well. We should break 750, I'm hoping, this month or so, especially with the ramp up and the changes we made today. We obviously got rid of a bunch of those little payers. I mean, if you look at these for the year, some of the ones we got rid of, $95 for SQY, $46, PSEC $42, and what was it, VYM, $7 for the year so far. So just getting rid of some of those, consolidating some accounts, and making things interesting in the account as always. So 630 so far for August. Last year we were at 113. I think we can go over 750 for the month. We will see though. We still have a lot of time left. I do want to show you on the QDTE. This was obviously updated. I think we're at 900. Let me just throw this out here. I think we're like at around 9. There we go, 9,800 there. So we paid roughly 800 or so of the margin. The margin was paying us a daily interest. I think I have it down here. Yeah, today was $1.52 per day. So really easy there. And then this is the reason why I want to start stacking QDT, and it's why I have the drip on. If you look here, right now we have 58 shares, right? So we have 58 shares. That is dripping us 0.7 shares a week. In order to get to 1 share a week, which is the goal, it's going to take us 29 weeks to get there just by drip alone. So we have to add more money if we want to get closer to that 1 share a week. If we get closer to that, let me just pull this. If we get closer to that 80 share mark, we are basically dripping 1 share a week, right? So we would be 0.98 shares if all things stayed equal and we got that 51 cents like we got this last time, which we'll find out on Wednesday. Then at 80 shares, we're dripping 1 share a week, which you can see goes real quick, right? So within the matter of 10 weeks, we're at 90 shares overall. Matter of 20 weeks, we are at 102 shares. And if you talk a full year, right, we go from 100 to 150. So we increase our share count by 50 shares, and we're up to 1.83 shares every single week just on drip alone if all things stay equal. So that's what we're pushing towards. We're trying to get to that 1 share a week. It obviously will depend on what the dividends are getting paid out. The average so far off of all the dividends is 30 cents a week. We are in a high elevated environment as of right now, so it could be more, it could be less. But as of right now, I'm just going off of, we had 57 2 weeks ago and 51 cents a share this last week, and we'll see what this week brings. But so far, so good. We're gonna try to get towards that one drip share a week. If we can do that, then we're above the 4 every single month, which would be awesome. So that's the update for the account. Got rid of a bunch of positions, which is nice to see. We added to some of the positions we already had, and we're gonna keep that dividend income raising each and every single month, and we're going to try to push towards that $1,000 a month in pure passive dividend income. So thank you, everybody. As always, don't forget to drop a like, and we'll catch you next week. Happy investing.